Hi.
Hi,
We
guys.
just got out of Phantom Thread.
Yes, we did.
And this is a movie about a designer in London in what time period would you say that was?
The 1950s.
1950s? I didn't even think about it. That's true. It actually looked earlier. It was the 1950s?
It could have been the late 40s,
Yeah.
the New Look era, but I'm pretty sure it was more. It's definitely early 50s.
Okay. And I thought this was based on a real person, but actually it's not. It's just inspired.
It took inspiration from a bunch of different.
Yeah. And in this movie, this director, his name is Reynolds Woodcock.
Mm-hmm.
He. Did I say director? I meant this designer.
Oh.
Designer.
Good job. Okay.
Reynolds Woodcock. He lives in London. He's a very successful designer of dresses, and I mean, like, to where he just like designs like one dress at a time.
Right.
And I guess he makes so much money off of that's good enough. And he in the beginning he has a girlfriend that lives with him, and he also lives with his sister, and they're kind of partners. The sister, I guess, runs the business side of it probably. And he's having problems with the girlfriend. It's very brief, that part. And then he goes out to the country and he finds a new girl, a waitress. And he kind of gets a date with her.
Right.
But he's kind of looking for somebody, I guess, to design clothes for.
He's looking for a muse.
Like a model,
He's
like a muse.
That's what he wants.
That's correct. And so and she's thinking that it's like a date.
Right.
But for him, it's like more of a muse thing.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
He takes her back, and she starts living with him, and he starts designing clothing around her, and she's looking more for the romantic side, and he's pretty focused on his work. He's just looking for
inspiration to work.
Right.
Yes.
And then, well, let's not go into spoilers yet.
Okay.
But before we say whether or not we recommend the movie, and then we'll get into some spoilers. Okay, so what'd you think of the movie?
I really liked it. I did, and I didn't think I was going to because, well, actually, I was very interested in the time period and the fashion and all of the, the clothing and whatnot, and that he was a designer. But the preview did look a little chick flickish to me.
The preview made it look like it was going to be about, and this was a little confusing because they also just came out with, I think, a television movie about another designer, like a real life one.
Okay.
I think Versace, maybe.
Yes.
And so I think I was getting a little confused with that. I was thinking, there's two movies about designers, and it's probably the other one. I don't know if the other one was looking more sex focused and
I think there's more
murder and
whatnot
scandal and stuff like that. And I was thinking this would be kind of the same kind of deal. I thought this was going to be about this because of the way they did the trailers. Because they did the trailers to make it look like it was about a guy who couldn't settle down or something. Yeah, I thought.
Oh.
For both of them, really.
I was just getting a love story vibe.
I wasn't. I was because they kept showing that one clip where she's asking him, "Why have you never gotten married?" And then he just giggles, and you kind of think, oh, either he's a womanizer or he prefers men or something like that.
I just thought it was.
And I got the impression from the trailer it was going to be about his sexual exploits or something, and it wasn't at all. Not really. It was just about the one relationship. It was a love story, like you said. But well, you said you liked it.
Well, that's why I didn't want to see it. Was it because it seemed like purely a love story?
Really? Okay.
The reason why I really liked it is because
the setting and all that.
No, well, it's weird because I actually liked them. I enjoyed the movie because of the setting and the fashion, and the music is phenomenal. I love the music in this film. It is perfect for the setting.
Yeah.
But also it's strange because the ending made me feel weird as far as...
Well, we don't want... Well, spoiler alert.
I know. I'm not spoiling
Okay,
it. I'm just saying
the
ending was a little odd for me, but at the same time, it is what made me like the movie.
Really?
Because...
So you were undecided till the ending there?
No. I liked it, but I guess
It gave it some kind of oomph to the whole...
it gave it a little kick.
Okay,
you know?
I see that. Yeah.
And I guess
we'll explain that later.
I guess
we'll
it
do
wasn't
a spoiler
necessarily
section.
just the ending though, because it started, whatever happens in the ending kind of started a little bit towards the middle, I would say.
Yeah, but it took a different direction than I thought.
So I guess I could say that I really started enjoying the film. I mean, I recognized the film as something different and something that I would really love, kind of like a mystery type thing towards the middle of the film when... Can we spoil?
Well, let me just say what I thought really quick before we get into the spoilers. Okay, so we went to see this. Basically, our mom wanted to go see this.
Right.
And she's hiding in the back. Mom, do you even want to say a sentence? You didn't like it? She didn't like it. She's hiding in the back, but she did not like the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what she was expecting from it, but
I think Mom was expecting just a flat out love story.
Just like a love story
in the fabric, which is why
it was.
Which is why I didn't want to see it.
Okay.
So.
And I just I explained what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be chick flick, but also like just a lot of focus on the.
But I will say that I
on womanizing or something of that nature.
Even up until that point where it started turning a little mysterious, I was enjoying myself, even though it was kind of chick flickish.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that too. From the beginning, I really got. I don't know how to say. Not really got into it, but just I got comfortable watching it right away. Mm-hmm. Because of the atmosphere, the tone. It was it's a slow-paced movie. It's like one of those movies just about a quirky
it's very
kind of person.
Enjoyable.
And it was very slow-paced, and the
atmosphere,
it was beautiful.
Daniel Day-Lewis is very good.
Yeah.
He kind of brings you in and captures you, and just the way that everything was, the director or the cinematographer, everything was very subtle. In everything, like they brought you to the meeting of Daniel Day-Lewis and his girlfriend, his to-be girlfriend, the lead in the film, and it was very calm and subtle and charming.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everything was so relaxed
and I loved
quiet,
that.
And even when things got uptight, it was kind of calm.
Yes, and I was drinking my tea.
It was a very soothing.
I was
movie,
at Alamo Draft House and I was having my tea. It was just perfect.
And it was. I enjoyed it for the most part, and I didn't expect to. And then it got to where it started to have a little bit of a tension and
twist.
like a twist, getting towards. Yeah, I guess a twist.
Something you wouldn't expect.
Going into it just thinking it was a love story or just not really knowing, it started to be surprising towards the middle, and then I was like, wait a minute, is this a true story? Because I thought this was like story of somebody's life, like a living person. But so then I started to think, okay, so this could
is fabricated.
And this could go any direction, and that was more interesting. And then I still wasn't quite sure, and then you hit towards the end a major twist.
Yes.
So we're gonna get into the spoilers in a second, but I thought it was good. I thought it was definitely not for everybody.
Oh yeah, I can see a lot of people not.
I would think that probably most people wouldn't go for this movie.
I'll say that. Well, are you talking about the entire movie or the
average people?
Ending?
Well, I mean, the ending is just a very short thing. So
because
I'm talking about the entire movie.
Okay. You think most people would not be able to sit through the first
I don't think it's
going
to be most people's thing, but I don't think most people can handle like a quiet
That's so sad.
It's a driving through the countryside or having dinner.
I'll tell you what.
London kind of a movie.
I was very much reminded of a 1940s film. In that there are a lot of films from the 1940s and the 1930s that have I forget what this is called, but it has to do with either the woman being driven crazy by
one of those movies.
By the husband who wants to get rid of her, the husband, that kind of film. I was reminded of that. once we got to that twist, you know what I mean? When that twist started happening.
Once you get to the twist.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Once you get to the twist, you start not even the final twist, but you mean like the middle.
The middle twist.
The middle thing.
I was like, oh, this is one of those.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of one of those classic films.
but one of those English ones.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like one of those old black and white English type things where it's, yeah, I can totally see that.
Right.
And if you like that kind of thing, you know, one of those, what's one with Heathcliff and all that?
Well, like
that
Jane,
kind of thing.
Jane Eyre-ish.
Jane Eyre.
Yeah,
or
very much so.
What's the one that I'm thinking of?
Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights,
yes.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
And if you like that kind of movie, then yeah, I think you'll probably like this. So let's get into spoilers now.
Okay, spoilers.
Yeah. So towards the middle of the movie.
Yes.
So this girl has fallen in love with this
Right.
guy.
And Daniel Day-Lewis could take her or leave her, I feel like.
Well, he gives that impression. And she wants to sort of seal the deal with that.
She wants to draw the commitment out of him,
yeah, basically. And so what she does is she makes him sick with mushrooms. They go out and pick mushrooms just from the woods and make food with it, right? And some of them are poison.
And I'd just like to mention that when she made it the first time, she was barely flaking off.
Put a little bit.
And put it in his tea or something.
That old thing that is always a bad idea, usually it doesn't work and people die.
Yes,
where you're trying to make somebody dependent on you, so you make them sick.
And she got this recipe from a book that he had.
Well, it was a book about the different kinds of mushrooms.
Oh, the different kinds of mushrooms.
And telling you how to avoid the poisonous
in the kitchen,
ones.
right?
And so that's how she learned.
He was acquainted with this book.
Oh yeah, that's true. So anyway, so she poisoned him to make him sick so that he would need her.
Right.
Need her help.
Because that was basically, I mean, his personality is that he doesn't necessarily need anybody.
Except for when he goes into these moods.
This childlike mood.
Right, and it's like after he's finished designing a dress or something.
Right.
He'll go into
he
this
is so wiped. He's completely wiped spiritually, mentally, physically.
Yeah, for a few days or whatever.
Right. So
he'll just lay in bed and he'll want somebody there with him to comfort him. His girlfriend, whoever it is.
As artists, we really understand that. I really understand that completely.
So anyway, So it works the first time, and she's happy. And when he gets over it the first time, he proposes to her. That's when he told her he loved her and he proposed to her.
Oh, yes.
After she took care of him that first time that she made him sick. So right away there she's like, oh, well, this works.
Yes.
And so.
But she doesn't try it ever again.
But she doesn't, she doesn't plan to do it again, but they get married and the problems come up again. And it's just a problem that he doesn't pay attention to whoever he's with.
The problems came up immediately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what spans of time that was supposed to be.
I believe they went on their honeymoon and he was already noticing that she ate her food horribly.
He was already nitpicking things.
She was eating her cereal strangely, and he was like staring at her like he wanted to murder her.
Oh, I didn't notice that part. Okay, well.
So he was already starting to be like, honeymoon's over.
So, and this was already towards the later part of the movie.
Yes.
So, at the end of the movie, because the bulk of the movie is them getting to know each other. And
his fashion, his profession,
his
his
work,
artistry.
and his process, and just the way he relates to other people. That's what the bulk of the movie.
It's such a beautiful film, the way they did everything.
It's very beautiful,
From the fact, I mean, and I'm sure this is how it is in that world, or was back then in that world, but, I mean, for wedding gowns, the women just wore pure white so that they wouldn't, the women making the dress, and
it was like
it was almost
lab.
like a clinical,
laboratory. Or a hospital type setting. Yeah.
It was very interesting.
Well, towards the end, when they're having their problems with their marriage, New Year's she goes to a New Year's party.
Right. There's one thing I'm going to stop you.
Oh, okay.
There's one thing I want to mention. He has a old wife, or is that his mother?
That's his sister, the one that's lived with him all.
No. The vision
that was his mom. Yeah, that was his
mother.
Mom.
Okay.
When he got sick, he saw like a vision of his mom.
And what was the whole thing
about? That was
the
second time that he got sick.
He made her wedding dress or something. Is that what he said? Like at the very beginning when the girl went to his house, he said,
oh, yeah.
I tried to make her second wedding dress or something, but she
well,
died.
she must have been getting remarried or something.
I don't know what happened, but...
I'm pretty sure it was the mother.
That was his mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so when he was hallucinating the first time on the mushrooms, or I guess he wasn't hallucinating, they might have created
basically the whole thing is we find out he's got these mommy issues big time.
Right.
And she has figured that out, and so she starts to fill that role for him.
Yes, yeah.
So after they're having these marital problems, he at one point opens up to his sister that he's like, it's not working out and he can't stand her and all that.
And the sister
he made a big mistake.
And his wife have a strange relationship where the sister almost respects her and she wants her to know about his personality in a weird way. I don't know.
I think the sister just doesn't expect it to work with anybody, but she was like
she doesn't want that girl to get hurt, it seems like. She
was kind of on her side, I thought. But then the first time that she made her sick, the sister I think was very suspicious.
She was very suspicious.
And she called the doctor, but he wouldn't see the doctor. So anyway, after New Year's Eve, after they had a horrible night, a horrible like fight for this movie.
She had prepared a meal for him and everything, and she tried to get him she tried to get his attention on her by doing the normal thing, which would be just like having, making a nice dinner for him and everything. And she realized that didn't work. Right. Because that doesn't work on him.
That was like a big problem.
Yeah.
But then when we get to New Year's Eve, it's already like the breaking point.
Right.
And she wants to go out to a party, and he didn't want to go. He went looking for her, and he dragged her out of there. And then I think it was after that he told his sister he wasn't happy with her and everything. Yes, that he's And then she, so you think she's just gonna, she overhears all of it, so you think she's just gonna leave, and that's the end of it. But instead,
but she does not.
But probably not, because she's telling the story.
True.
She's telling the story, I think, to the doctor in the whole course of the movie. So she goes back and she makes him another dinner. She makes him an omelet with a ton of those mushrooms.
Slicing the mushrooms.
Big chunks of like poisonous mushrooms.
And not only this, but Daniel Day-Lewis's character is noticing what she's doing. Like he is literally in the kitchen, in the corner, doing his artwork, and he's seeing her open the book and start to put the mushrooms in.
I didn't know he was seeing all that, really?
Yes, he was absolutely.
I know that he figured it out, but
he was figuring it out, and then I got the feeling that she was starting to realize, well, not when she was making it, but while they were sitting at the table and he was like testing her. He was like, I'm going to put it in my mouth.
It was really interesting. That was the second
scene.
Twist of the movie. The biggest twist there is where he figures out what she's doing and he's into it. So basically, it's a fetish movie.
Yeah.
Where it turns out just in the last few minutes of the movie, he figures out she's making him sick so she can nurse him, so that she can get some appreciation from him. Yeah. And he figures out she's doing that, so he's like you said, he's into it.
He's into it. I think the whole thing where he realizes how much she wants him to, like, I don't know, it's just this it's weird toxic relationship.
It's a fetish movie. Yeah. It's like there's like tons of people into that now, but they don't usually do the poison thing.
Poison each other.
They do age play and things like that, and stuff like that. So it's kind of like an old-fashioned version of that. It is, isn't it? Discovering that kind of thing,
like if this was in Jane Eyre or Wuthering Heights or something.
Yeah, so it was it had that big twist at the end, and it was and it worked out, I guess, for them, at least to the point of where she's sort of being interviewed by, I guess, the doctor. I think it was the doctor.
Well, and
I'm
then
not sure
they show later on where
because she's full on pushing a baby carriage at the end of the movie.
She has a child.
So it's apparently working.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the movie. Yeah, really interesting movie.
I will say I heard audible and I even laughed myself. I heard audible laughs in the audience, and I like at the point where where it twists the second time and he's into it. Like everyone was like, "What?"
Yeah. It was a big twist, a big surprising twist.
Because had this been an actual film like the 1940s, like so he would have killed her or something.
There would have been, and did more.
More
socially acceptable kind of thing.
Yeah.
But interesting. Yeah, and so it was really interesting. I thought it was a nice, relaxing, enjoyable movie,
yeah.
and then it had that big twist. So
Yes, which was a plus.
That was
for
interesting.
it.
Yeah. Now I don't know if I would ever watch this movie again.
If it were on TV and there was nothing else on, I probably.
But I mean, again, it's a fine, relaxing movie.
Yeah.
I don't usually put these types of movies on as much.
I do.
If it's like an old 40s one, I might, because I like that.
Yeah, true.
You know, the old black and white and everything. But as far as one like this, and the acting was excellent.
Acting was fantastic.
I mean, it's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah,
and all
but
that,
what is this woman's name?
And I don't know her. She's new to me.
She was wonderful. I feel like I've seen her before.
All the acting was excellent.
Yeah, the sister was excellent. I mean, everybody was wonderful.
Yeah, he's the only one that I knew in the movie, except for we saw BB from...
Yeah, BB from Frasier. Frasier's agent.
Yeah.
And also she played Eve in the X-Files episode.
Oh, okay.
Eve.
I kind of feel like I remember
Super
that.
good. She's very good. What was her deal? She was just an alcoholic?
I think she was an alcoholic or something, but I think
she was just depressed.
She was somebody
she had
important,
older,
and she was an alcoholic.
Yeah, because she was paying for his house.
Well, I think she probably was a frequent client or something, and that's what they meant by
that's what she meant by that. Okay.
So I think I'm going to run out of time on this right now.
What was the purpose of the mother?
The mother?
Showing up all of a sudden there.
Oh, the vision of the mother.
Well, that was part of the whole fact that his issues were with his mom. He wanted to be like mothered. He wanted to be nursed.
Right.
Like that's why he got sick, and
Yeah, because what did he say? He was like, "I miss you."
He missed his mom.
I wake up crying.
So the girl had to kind of fill in that mother role for him.
Yeah.
And
that's why he was okay with a poison.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, because he wanted to be nursed.
He wanted to be taken care of like a little boy and a mother.
So
okay, we're running out of time.
All right, guys. Big plus. It was good.
It was good.
It.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it.
At least go see it and just make up your own mind. But it was fun.
If you like those calm, relaxing movies, but then you're okay with a kinky twist.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye.